Today, I'm revealing a truth that only a few chosen ones are ready to hear. December 19th isn't just another day. It's a cosmic reset, a moment when the universe strips away the influence of anyone who tried to block your path, control your energy, or manipulate your life. If you've ever felt drained by people who thrived on your reactions, felt powerless in situations you didn't deserve, or watched as others tried to control your destiny, then today, everything changes. You will witness signs that your enemies are losing control, and these signs aren't subtle. They are undeniable. By the end of this video, you will recognize the power that has already shifted in your favor. But here's the catch. Only some people will notice this. Only some will understand it. And if you're one of them, you need to act now. I want to know in the comments, which of these signs are showing up in your life right now? Don't hold back. Share your experience. The universe is speaking. And the more we acknowledge it, the stronger this shift becomes. Stay tuned. What you're about to discover could change everything in ways you never imagined. One of the earliest and most revealing signs that your enemies are losing control is not confrontation. It is silence. This silence doesn't arrive gently, it arrives suddenly, almost unnaturally. People who once had something to say about everything you did now have nothing to say at all. The critics, the provokers, the ones who fed off your reactions, the ones who needed to feel superior by keeping you emotionally engaged, they go quiet. Not because they have changed, not because they have healed, but because the methods they used no longer work. These are the same people who once criticized you relentlessly, not to help you grow, but to keep you doubting yourself. The same ones who pushed emotional buttons just to see if they could still control your mood. The same voices that used guilt, fear, and comparison as weapons. Their power depended on one thing: your reaction. Now that reaction is gone. They stop texting. They stop commenting. They stop openly watching your life. But here is the truth most people miss. Silence does not mean absence. It means distance. And distance is devastating to those who relied on access. They may still watch quietly. They may ask about you indirectly. They may scroll without leaving a trace. This is not curiosity. This is confusion. They don't understand how the connection broke without a fight. They don't know how to reach you anymore because the version of you they once knew no longer exists. What has changed is not them. It is you. Your emotional frequency has shifted. Where there was once reaction, there is now neutrality. Where there was once over-explaining, there is now calm. Where there was once emotional availability, there is now discernment. And they feel this shift even if they cannot name it. This kind of silence unsettles people who thrived on control. They were used to being able to pull you back in with a message, a comment, a look, or a carefully placed remark. Now, those attempts fall flat. The emotional door they once walked through freely is closed. And that closure was not created by anger. It was created by growth. Silence is not a punishment. It is a consequence. When someone no longer has access to your emotional energy, they lose their influence. When influence is gone, control collapses. This is why the silence feels so heavy on their end. It forces them to sit with their own powerlessness. For you, however, the silence feels different. It feels like space. It feels like clarity. It feels like relief. You are no longer pulled into unnecessary reactions. You are no longer explaining yourself to people who never intended to understand you. You are no longer proving your worth to those who needed you small to feel large. This silence is the universe speaking without words. It is saying that your season of emotional exposure has ended. It is saying that not everyone deserves access to you. It is saying that the lesson has been learned and the chapter is closing. When the noise stops, it is not because you lost something, it is because you outgrew it. And in that quiet, something powerful happens. You realize that peace is not created by being understood by everyone. It is created by no longer needing to be. The silence is not emptiness, it is protection, and it is the clearest sign that their access has been revoked. When control begins to slip, people do not become peaceful, they become unstable. Calm is a luxury only felt by those who are secure in their position. When someone senses that their influence over you is fading, their nervous system reacts before their mind can make sense of it. This is why erratic behavior is one of the clearest signs that power is shifting. Around December 19th, you may notice sudden and unexplained changes in the people who once tried to dominate your emotional space. Mood swings appear without warning. One moment they are friendly, the next they are cold. Passive-aggressive remarks surface where there was once forced politeness. Emotional outbursts emerge that feel disproportionate to the situation, and sometimes drama seems to appear out of nowhere, as if someone is testing whether they can still pull you into chaos. This behavior is not random. It happens because they sense something they cannot fully understand or control. They are no longer ahead of you. The energetic advantage they once believed they had is dissolving. They feel your attention slipping away, your reactions weakening, and your emotional availability closing. And when someone loses influence, fear replaces confidence. They feel their grip loosening. They feel you slipping beyond their reach. They feel irrelevant in a way that threatens their identity. Desperation follows quickly after that realization. These attempts to provoke you are not about conflict. They are about confirmation. They want proof that they still matter in your inner world. They want reassurance that they can still disrupt your peace. When they do not get that response, their anxiety intensifies and their behavior becomes even more unpredictable. This is where chosen ones separate themselves from the cycle. You do not react, you do not engage, you do not explain, you observe. Observation is power because it keeps your energy intact. While they spiral emotionally, you remain centered. While they search for leverage, you remain grounded. Your calm becomes a mirror reflecting their instability back to them, and they do not like what they see. Your stillness exposes their chaos. Your restraint highlights their loss of control. Your silence denies them the validation they seek. This imbalance is uncomfortable for them because it reverses the dynamic. Once, they believed they could predict you, trigger you, and steer your emotional responses. Now, they cannot read you at all. Uncertainty replaces control, and uncertainty breeds anxiety. It is important to understand this clearly. Their restlessness is not your responsibility. It is the natural result of losing access to someone they once influenced. You are not causing their behavior. You are simply no longer managing it for them. December 19th marks a moment of energetic exposure. Those who relied on manipulation feel exposed by your composure. Those who thrived on reaction feel weakened by your neutrality. And those who believed they were ahead now realize they are watching you move forward without them. The shift does not require confrontation. It does not require explanation. It does not require revenge. It requires presence. Your calm is not passive. It is decisive. It signals that you are no longer available for emotional games, power struggles, or reactive cycles. And when they realize that, the chaos you see in them is the final proof that control has already been lost. One of the most powerful signs that your enemies are losing control is that the truth begins to surface without your intervention. You don't have to call them out. You don't have to justify yourself. You don't have to explain your perspective or defend every move you've made. Yet somehow, the reality they tried to hide becomes clear to everyone around them. Suddenly, people start noticing things they overlooked before. Inconsistencies in stories appear obvious. Past narratives that were carefully crafted to manipulate perception no longer hold up. Patterns of manipulation become undeniable, and the subtle ways they caused damage in the past, ways you may have silently endured, now come into focus. What was once hidden in shadows is now visible in plain sight. This revelation is not random, it is alignment. December 19th activates a truth return cycle. This is a cosmic moment where falsehoods, manipulations, and deceit cannot continue to exist unchallenged. The universe creates a force field of clarity around you. Lies that once held power begin to collapse under their own weight. The more they tried to conceal, the more obvious the deception becomes once the timing is right. And what is remarkable is how effortless this process is. You do not need to expose them. You do not need to gather evidence or make a confrontation. You simply continue moving in alignment with your truth, in calm awareness of your path. Their stories start unraveling on their own because the energy that once allowed them to manipulate you is gone. Their attempts to control perception no longer have the force to succeed. This is also why people around them begin to see things differently. They notice patterns they didn't notice before, connections they didn't make, and motives they hadn't questioned. Friends, colleagues, or even casual observers may begin to recognize the reality of the situation. Sometimes before the person trying to manipulate even realizes it themselves. The truth surfaces naturally when deception loses its energetic support. For you, this is liberating. You are no longer carrying the weight of hiding or defending yourself. You no longer need to explain your choices or your life. Instead, the universe speaks on your behalf, exposing what needs to be exposed. Your calm and centered energy becomes the catalyst for a revelation that no one, not even your enemies, can prevent. This sign is also a test of your patience and restraint. It demonstrates that sometimes the most effective power is non-interference. By remaining aligned with your truth, you allow the universe to dismantle deceit on your timeline. Your enemy's false masks cannot survive when the universe decides it's time for clarity. The best part? You didn't have to lift a finger. You didn't need to fight, argue, or prove anything. The truth comes out naturally, and in that emergence, their control over you is stripped completely. By simply existing in your integrity, you become untouchable, and the reality of who they really are is finally revealed. This is the ultimate sign that December 19th is your turning point, and they no longer hold power over your life. One of the most subtle yet powerful signs that your enemies are losing control is a shift in how you feel about them and the situations they once dominated. This sign can confuse even the most aware chosen ones because it is not dramatic. There is no anger, no bitterness, and no desperate need for closure. You simply feel detached. Detachment here does not mean you are shutting down or suppressing your emotions. It does not mean you are indifferent to life or unaware of what is happening around you. Instead, it is a conscious shift, an awakening of emotional sovereignty. You no longer allow yourself to be pulled into battles that were never meant for you. You no longer react to provocations that once consumed your attention. You exist outside the drama and the energy games, Situations that used to weigh heavily on your mind now feel distant, almost like watching from another plane. People who once occupied your emotional space, whose opinions or actions dictated your mood, now feel irrelevant. You are no longer giving them the power to influence your inner state. And that is exactly what makes this moment so transformative. Your detachment signals the end of their control. Control only exists where emotion is accessible. When someone can trigger fear, guilt, insecurity, or anger in you, they hold a subtle form of power. But when you reclaim your emotional autonomy, that power disappears. They no longer have a key to your energy. Their attempts to provoke, manipulate, or influence you bounce off the shield of your inner authority. December 19th is the cosmic marker for this shift. It is the day when you step fully into your sovereignty, whether you realize it or not. The detachment you feel is not emptiness, it is clarity. It is the recognition that your energy belongs to you and no one else. You are no longer investing in the illusions of control that others have tried to maintain over you. This state is freeing because it eliminates the tension that comes from trying to defend yourself or navigate emotional traps. Instead of reacting, you observe. Instead of defending, you allow. Instead of struggling, you move forward in alignment with your truth. The less you try to prove yourself, the stronger your presence becomes. Detachment is also a form of power. It communicates to your enemies without a word that their influence is gone. They may try to provoke, pressure, or guilt you, but it no longer matters. Your focus is no longer on them. It is on your growth, your clarity, and your path. In essence, feeling detached without being numb is the ultimate form of liberation. It confirms that you have reclaimed your inner authority, that the universe is on your side, and that the control others once held over you is now permanently dissolved. December 19th is not just another day. It is the day you step fully into your own power, beyond their reach, beyond their influence, and fully aligned with your destiny. This sign is quiet, but it is unmistakable once you notice it. After December 19th, your life begins to move forward without the exhausting pressure you once carried. There is no struggle, no constant pushing, no feeling that you have to fight your way through every door. Things simply start to align. Opportunities appear when you are not chasing them. Conversations happen at the right time and open doors you were not even knocking on. Delays that once felt endless dissolve naturally. Decisions that used to feel heavy or confusing suddenly become clear. You are not rushing, and yet progress is happening. This is not luck. This is alignment. For a long time, it may have felt like life required force just to move an inch. You pushed, planned, explained, and proved yourself, yet resistance remained. What you are discovering now is a powerful truth. The resistance was never the path. It was the people standing in the way of it. After December 19th, that resistance fades. The energy that once slowed you down is no longer present. The pressure lifts, and you realize you are no longer swimming upstream. You are moving forward with the current instead of against it. At the same time, something else becomes very clear. Those who tried to block you, delay you, or control your progress feel stuck. Their plans stall. Their momentum disappears. While your life begins to flow, theirs feels heavy and restricted. The contrast is impossible to ignore. This contrast is not about superiority. It is about timing. You are no longer expending energy to overcome obstacles that were never meant to be permanent. You are no longer fighting battles that were fueled by ego, fear, or control. Instead, you are moving past them. And the ease you feel is the clearest sign that the universe has removed interference from your path. Flow does not mean there are no challenges. It means challenges no longer drain you. You respond instead of react. You choose instead of struggle. You move with clarity instead of confusion. When resistance appears, it does not stop you. It redirects you to something better. This is what happens when people-powered obstacles lose their influence. The doors they once guarded open on their own. The delays they created dissolve without explanation. The fear they relied on to slow you down no longer works. Your progress no longer depends on their approval, their opinion, or their presence. It depends on your alignment. December 19th marks the moment you stop forcing outcomes and start trusting movement. You realize that when something is meant for you, it does not require exhaustion. It does not require constant effort. It does not require sacrificing your peace. The path opens because it is clear. This shift is proof that you were never blocked by fate. You were delayed by dynamics that no longer exist. Now that their power is gone, your life begins to move forward naturally, steadily, and with purpose. And the more you allow this flow, the clearer it becomes. You were always meant to rise. You just needed the resistance to disappear. One of the most revealing signs that your enemies are losing control is a sudden and unexpected attempt to re-enter your life. This is not random. This is not coincidence. When control slips from their grasp, people often make one last effort to regain access, influence, or leverage over you. But their motives are rarely what they appear to be. You may notice it in subtle ways at first. A message appears after months of silence, seemingly casual but carefully timed. Someone may ask about you indirectly through mutual contacts, testing the waters. You may hear expressions of concern or nostalgia that feel performative rather than genuine. Sometimes they attempt to clear the air, presenting it as reconciliation, closure, or friendship. On the surface, it can seem innocent or even flattering, but this is rarely the case. This is not about connection. This is about control retrieval. They are trying to measure whether they still hold power over your thoughts, your decisions, or your emotional state. They are testing whether the door they once used so freely is still accessible. And December 19th gives you a rare advantage: clarity. The universe sharpens your discernment. You see motives before they are even fully expressed. You recognize manipulation even when it is wrapped in apologies or concern. You understand that this is not an attempt at repair, but a last-ditch effort to influence, to provoke, or to reclaim energy they once drew from you. And the difference between now and before is striking. You are no longer vulnerable to their tactics. In the past, you may have hesitated. You may have wondered if their intentions were sincere. You may have given them a second chance, or at least allowed their words to affect your inner state. But now, your energy has shifted. You no longer confuse attention with authenticity. You no longer allow nostalgia, guilt, or curiosity to pull you into patterns that served them, not you. This moment is empowering. Their attempts to reconnect reveal more about their desperation than your worth. They are reacting to your rising influence, your growing alignment, and your detachment from what no longer serves you. And in their reaction, you find confirmation. You have moved beyond them. December 19th is pivotal because it marks a clear line in your personal evolution. You do not need to respond. You do not need to justify yourself. You do not need to re-engage in old cycles. Their re-entry attempts are now powerless because you are rooted in awareness and sovereignty. You may notice a mix of emotions: curiosity, surprise, or even amusement. That is natural. But the key is that you do not fall back. You remain steady. You observe without attachment. You allow their attempts to pass through without impact. This is the ultimate proof that control has shifted. What once seemed like influence or access is now irrelevant. You are no longer a participant in their narrative. Their energy cannot reach you the way it once did. And the clarity you now possess ensures that you will never give them the power to disrupt your life again. December 19th does not just mark their loss of control. It marks your unwavering awareness, your protection, and your freedom. You are firmly in charge of your energy, your focus, and your path. And this time, nothing can pull you back. The final sign is the most important, and also the most misunderstood, because it does not announce itself loudly. There is no visible victory, no dramatic moment where everything suddenly looks perfect, and no applause from the outside world. Instead, something far more powerful happens within you. You feel a quiet confidence you can't fully explain. There is no specific event that proves it, no clear reason you can point to. And yet, deep inside, there is a calm certainty that wasn't there before, a knowing that feels steady, grounded, and unshakable. It's the simple realization: I'm protected now. You move through your days with a different posture, even if nothing around you has changed. You feel centered. You feel anchored. You feel unbothered by things that once unsettled you. Challenges may still exist, but they no longer feel threatening. Problems don't trigger fear in the same way. You trust yourself to handle whatever comes next. This confidence is not arrogance. It is not loud. It does not seek recognition. It does not need to prove anything to anyone. This confidence is alignment. Alignment feels like peace without explanation. It feels like stability without guarantees. It feels like strength without aggression. You are no longer scanning the environment for approval, validation, or reassurance. You are no longer measuring your worth through reactions, opinions, or attention. Your energy stands on its own. December 19th marks the moment this shift locks in. This is when your energy becomes self-sustaining. You no longer rely on external circumstances to feel secure. You no longer need someone else to confirm your value. You no longer react just to feel seen or heard. Your inner foundation is strong enough to support you on its own. This is why enemies lose control permanently at this stage. Control only works when someone can influence how you feel about yourself. When that influence disappears, their power collapses completely. They cannot intimidate you. They cannot provoke you. They cannot destabilize you. Their words lose weight. Their actions lose impact. What replaces that vulnerability is clarity. You see situations for what they are, not what they once made you feel. You move with intention instead of urgency. You respond with awareness instead of emotion. You trust your instincts because they are no longer clouded by fear or insecurity. This quiet confidence also brings a sense of protection that doesn't come from avoidance or isolation. It comes from knowing your boundaries are firm and your energy is guarded. You don't need to defend yourself constantly because you no longer invite interference. Even when life presents uncertainty, you remain steady. Even when others become reactive, you remain calm. Even when the path ahead is not fully visible, you feel safe taking the next step. This is the final confirmation that December 19th has marked a turning point. You are no longer seeking power, you are embodying it. And when power is embodied rather than chased, no one else can take it from you. This confidence does not shout, it does not demand attention. It simply exists. And in that existence, your enemies lose control forever. As we reach the end, it's time to truly understand what December 19th is offering you. This is not just another day. It's a moment when the universe realigns in your favor. Those who once held power over your emotions, your decisions, and your energy are losing their grip. You may have noticed it already. The silence, the restlessness, the truth revealing itself without effort, and that quiet confidence growing inside you. These are not coincidences. They are signs. You are stepping into a space where control no longer exists for those who tried to dominate you. And the best part? You don't have to react. You don't have to fight. You simply move forward with clarity, calm, and purpose. The obstacles that felt permanent were never meant to stop you. They were there to test your alignment, to show you your strength. And now, their power is gone. Remember, this shift is about you reclaiming your energy. It's about understanding that you no longer need validation, approval, or attention from anyone who underestimated your worth. You are moving forward naturally, effortlessly, and with unstoppable momentum. The universe is aligning circumstances, opportunities, and clarity around you. And those who tried to interfere will now watch as their influence fades completely. Take a moment to recognize this power within you. Feel it, claim it, and let it guide your next steps. You are no longer caught in cycles that don't serve you. You are free. You are aligned. You are untouchable. Now I want you to comment below and share which of these signs you've already noticed in your life. Your experiences matter. They amplify this shift. And together, we witness the truth unfolding. December 19th is your moment. Step into it fully.